What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I see that title's going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Got Cory Booker on the view. And of course, you know, saying some outrageous things that I got to call out. It's the reason why I check out and look at a lot of videos. First thing first, I look at the simple fact that it's very important for an individual like myself to call out the BS. Especially, you know, you have so many people that's in my comments, at the bottom, of course, that will say different things. And I know they watch. I know it's a lot of people that actually watch my videos and truly don't like what I have to say sometimes, most of the time. But they have to like it a little bit because they keep coming back. And I'm going to keep on doing what I need to do as far as letting this information, you know, come out and call it out, you know, when it comes down to the facts as much as possible. And what I truly feel, you know, because I feel like it's important, you know, especially people that, you know, are brainwashed and don't, you know, actually pay attention like they should. Let's check it out.
That seems so cocky and confident in his taking us to war should have to come before his body, that the members of his cabinet and sit here and justify both the provocation of why we went to war and what is the end game.
Yeah. Senator Cory Booker has been one of the loudest voices of opposition to the war in Iran. And most...
Literally the loudest. Being the loudest doesn't make you a leader. It doesn't make you, you know, somebody that's not good. So giving somebody an introduction saying, oh, he's the loudest on the war and this, that, and other. One thing that Cory Booker does and what I've known him out to be is for him, you know, his hooting and hollering. That's all I ever see him doing. You know, it's nothing really, you know, that's important, you know, that he says or that he does. It's just a lot of hollering. Just like he went hours and hours, I'm sure they probably going to show, because that's what the View does, of him speaking about nothing.
Of this administration's policies as well. He's also showing Americans how there's a path forward if we remember lessons from our past. His new book, Stand, is out, and we're going to talk to him about it. So please welcome back Senator Cory Booker. So before we do anything, congratulations, man.
Thank you very much.
You got married.
I did.
So I don't know if you noticed that in the front row.
I see her.
The beautiful Alexis is here.
I love this, yes. I think I was on the sidelines of a full life for too long, and she's let me know what it's really like to have a full life, so it's great.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Forever. May it last forever.
Yes.
May it last forever. Son, you got
Congratulations,
to...
making me feel.
Are they actually going to talk about something real?
Held the Senate floor for over 25 hours. That broke the record for the longest floor speech in Senate history.
The fact that I just skipped it up to this is insane. And I literally just said, I knew they was going to talk about this. Cory Booker, I don't think Cory Booker has been on the show since then, since he did that. So that's you know, more the reason on why I probably said that too. But that is absolutely insane. For how long again?
That broke the record for the longest floor speech in Senate history. And since then, we've shortly after President Trump's return to office, you held the Senate floor for over 25 hours.
Over 25 hours of him not saying absolutely nothing, bro. How a person, if you gotta, this is me being, you know, real. If you have to stand somewhere and speak on something for 25, like I truly don't get it. For you to stand there for 25 hours and absolutely don't make any type of progress, like just think about this. This man stood there and spoke for over 25 hours, he says. The Democratic Party is still in the same position. You have no leader. There's nobody, absolutely nobody. It's like everybody is for themselves. Everybody is for themselves. I never see an individual with another individual and speaking really, nice and good and being, on the same type of. You don't see that whatsoever. So for him, and when it comes down to the people. So you speaking over 25 hours and beating a record said, like, what is that? That's really not doing nothing. Like, you're truly not doing nothing. 25 hours.
Since then, we've seen American citizens killed on our streets by mass federal agents in Minneapolis. We're at war in the Middle East. Tariffs have wreaked havoc.
I'm going to try my best not to pause so much because it's like everything they say, I have something to say. So I'm going to just try to wait.
Economy. Millions of Americans are uninsured after Republicans let the Affordable Care Act subsidies expire. Now, we know that the Republicans are in control of Congress, but do you think Democrats can do more to effectively resist some of these issues, some of these policies?
So I think one of the things I've been saying, because I've had obviously disagreements with the Republican Party, but also critiques of my own, this is a time where everybody has to do more. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican right now, costs are skyrocketing. Millions of us are losing our health insurance. Energy costs are now going up. But more than that, we have a generation of Americans that have stopped believing in the American dream. They're working harder than their parents, they're making less, they don't think they can afford a house and have a kid, not to mention afford medical bills right now. There is an urgency for us in this moment to renew the hope and the sense and the promise of America. And that's the fight that we have, this left-right fight. I'm going to fight like hell against Donald Trump's policies, but he is not the main character of this story. We are. Right. And we need to come together as a country and start being the nation we say we are for all of our people.
Well, Senator, we're now on.
Let me explain something to y'all. And I'm gonna let more of the video play. It's just one question I have to ask. Where was all this energy when Biden was in the White House? Honestly, like, where was all this energy when Biden, and when what pisses me off with this, I don't know if y'all ever noticed. Y'all probably don't because most of y'all don't watch The View. Sunny Hostin always makes this sad face off to the side of her face. If you actually just pay attention to Sunny Hostin and what she looks like and how she's looking, it's almost like, oh yeah, he's making a really good point. He's not. Because there's no way you sit here and you say this and say that at all, and you had like you didn't have none of this energy whatsoever when Biden was in the White House, when prices were high, when you had illegal aliens flooding in, when you're having so much of violence from not only U.S. citizens but from illegal aliens, when you having all of this going on, there were so many things that have went on as Biden and Kamala is in the White House. And whatsoever, they have not had this energy. When you say, oh, it don't matter, Democrat or Republican. And they try to do that. Now it's that. Now it's that. Let's make it sound like this to make it sound better. Like, come on, y'all.
Day 24 of the war in Iran, and the effects are being felt here at home more and more. You've been pushing resolutions to stop the military strikes until there's congressional approval. But I want to ask you, past presidents Clinton, Obama, Biden, George W. Bush all authorized military action without formal war declarations or going to Congress beforehand. Why is this situation different?
Well, first of all, I was one of those critics then as well. Our bombing campaign in Yemen and more, we have allowed Congress, in the most feckless manner, has given away their power to the executive. But no president before this has ever done what Donald Trump is. This is the biggest military engagement we've been in since the war in Afghanistan. He did not articulate a reason. In fact, he hopped around. It's about regime change. It's about stopping the nuclear weapons. It's about their ballistic missiles. It's about them murdering their citizens. He didn't even tell America why we were going in. And now he can't even articulate a way out. And meanwhile, what he's done to Americans is he's spending billions of our dollars. What has he done to Americans? Well, number one, we've lost 13 people. And number two, Americans who he promised to lower prices on day one are seeing costs skyrocket. So this is an out-of-control president, exactly what our founders warned us about. And they, in Federalist Paper 47, said the job of the Senate is to check the reckless abuses of an executive who is grabbing power that does not belong to the executive. So right now, my Republican colleagues stunningly haven't held a hearing, no oversight, no meaningful oversight, no transparency. We're not even debating it on the floor. We're debating stupid laws like, hey, let's take away voting power from Americans. So every American should be outraged, not just because we're paying higher and higher and higher costs. It's because Americans should be outraged, not just because we're paying higher, right? No transparency. We're not even debating it on the floor. We're debating stupid laws like, hey, let's take away voting power from Americans. So
why do they lie so much? When they say things like this, and him just saying let's take voting power from Americans, that's when it begins with the brainwashing. Just think about it, y'all. And this is no excuse whatsoever for anybody that watches, The View, anybody that supports, these Democrats. No excuse whatsoever. But honestly, when you have people like him, and you have people that has grown up with their parents that has watched The View, or watch Whoopi, or watch Joy Behar, or watch Sunny Hostin and what she's doing, within her life, or just simply loving Obama's, or loving an individual that, is a Democrat, that's in Congress, or, just think about that. You have an individual, let's say this regular individual. You have this individual, all their life they grew up, Democrat. And I say for myself, but then again, I can't. This story isn't, I'm a move a different direction. You have an individual, and it's like they've grown up the whole time of being a Democrat. Okay, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that, I'm hearing this. Okay, fast forward years from that. I still think in a Democrat way because you have individuals like Cory Booker, that says things like this. If you have individuals that say, oh yeah, you have stupid laws, you have this, you have that, of taking the voting power from the American people, a person in their head is automatically going to think, okay, well, dang, I can't even vote no more. Or Donald Trump and the Trump administration is taking away this power. Oh, I can't rock with that because I want to vote. I want to be able to vote. But you have Trump and you got the Trump administration saying that we can't anymore. That's what he's trying to make it sound like. And that's not it at all. When it comes down to it, a lot of it, the people that needs to vote and what's is U.S. citizens. None of this. Let's cheat, or let's have illegal aliens vote. And come on, man. It's stuff like this. This is the stuff that I'm talking about when you have individuals like this that come on shows or speak on the news, the mainstream media, and literally lie and talk to an individual, basically that the individual that we was just talking about, and then they look at the same fact, well, dang, well, Trump is that way, and it's actually an individual. I have family members that's like that. I have family members that truly think that way. I'm not gonna say these particular family members, close family members to me, that think this way. Like, oh, okay, I see this clip or I see that clip of this individual saying this, and they looking at the same fact, well, dang, I don't like Trump even more because he's making it. It's just lies. It's truly lies, and it's sickening.
Well, every American should be outraged, not just because we're paying higher and higher and higher costs. It's because we haven't learned the lessons of history. Yet again, we are going into a Middle East war without a plan, without an exit strategy, setting off chaos in the entire world as we see what they're doing in the Straits of Hormuz.
Yeah. And Senator, just a couple of weeks ago, you got into a contentious back and forth with former Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. This was shortly before she was deported from the Department of Homeland DHS. You called the agency reckless and out of control under her leadership. Trump's replaced her. His nominee for the position now is a colleague of yours from Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullen. He's expected to be confirmed maybe in the coming days. Do you think, you know him, he's your colleague. Will we actually see changes under this guy, or will it be the same?
Look, we're going to have the vote on him tonight. I'm not going to vote for him. I've gotten to know him and have had a really good relationship with him on the Senate floor, but I'm not supporting another dollar to this reckless, out-of-control agency that is, in my state, even a Republican town where they paid twice as much as they should have for a huge warehouse to really continue their private for-profit prison campaign of snatching people, even Americans and American children have been taken out of their homes, our veterans and more. Simply changing the head of the agency is not going to stop what Donald Trump has done. And again, as he's cutting all of your health care, as he's cutting your health care, cutting school lunch programs.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. He said cutting your health care like 4 or 5 times during this whole segment. And that's what I mean by that. When you have an individual that's truly just throwing stuff out there, that's their main focus. That's their agenda. That's their plan of what they have. And that's exactly why so many people are turning away from the Democratic Party, because they're having so many people have so much of this TDS, having so much of, oh, okay, let's bash Trump. Let's say this about Trump. Oh, I don't like Trump. So that's where that's going. They don't have anything that they're really working on. All they're focused on is, okay, let's shut down this, but also in the same breath, okay, I support what they're going through, and I love. Okay, then what they doing right now. If you are a person that loves Cory Booker, the person that loves The View, or a person that simply supports the Democratic Party, just know that they're playing in your face. They're playing in your face.
He has funded this agency more than the militaries of most countries in order to do these kind of unconstitutional things. So for me, it's not about who the head of the agency is. It is about stopping them from doing these moral outrages in our communities.
We've been talking about another day in America, another government shutdown. And this affects real people.
Yes.
Every day, they're waiting for these checks to come in. You were talking in the commercial break about friendships in Congress that people don't realize are close, even people from the other side. So what needs to happen? Because it takes two. Are Democrats going to come in at all? What do Republicans do? And should Congress still be getting paid? I think there are a lot of people wondering, how is that happening?
Yeah,
I know you've actually offered not to get paid.
This is the bizarrest moment I've ever seen, where the fight is over another agency, it's fight over ICE. We all have principled fights over ICE. But what the Republicans are saying now is, well, we're going to hold TSA hostage. We're not going to pay them until you capitulate to what we want on ICE. But we're all just saying, pay TSA. Pay FEMA, pay these organizations. Let's continue to fight over here, but why are you dragging them in? What they're doing is using the American people as leverage. They're going to say, we're going to make your life miserable, try to blame it on you in order to get you to capitulate to what we're saying over here.
So what do Democrats do?
So I just say that this is...
Last time they capitulated.
Last time they capitulated. People ran over here and said, okay, enough pain. I'm simply saying the pain is not being caused by Democrats. We have tried 7 times to fund the TSA, and they are great people. They're underpaid people. We're some of our frontline public safety people, and they're underpaid. And I'm literally leaving here. I love New York, but I'm racing across the river to go to Jersey, to go to the Newark airport and stand up for those TSA workers to get paid. Stop holding them hostage because you don't want to do the right thing.
That's what makes you unique in our world of politics. You have this great book out, Stand, and I recommend...
Man, forget that book, bro. Forget that book, bro. You literally, he literally didn't do nothing but get on here and lie. In the same sentence, y'all are literally, like, I truly don't get. I don't get a lot of what, everything that they're doing. This is simple. It's really just common sense. Everything that they're possibly doing is because of the hatred of President Trump. Everything that they're doing. And then in the same breath, they act like they care about you. They don't. They don't. And people aren't realizing that. They truly do not care. One thing about it, though, that I'll tell anybody, this is CNN. President Trump says post a video CNN on all networks confirming that his approval rate among MAGA, those who actually elect him, are 100%. So when you have Sonny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg on The View saying that, and Anna Rivera that'll sit there and say, oh, well, President Trump's own people that voted him in are turning against him and they this and they that. Check this out.
Sometimes you look at the polling data and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you, and this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA in the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 19th.
And that's the exact
172 Miami Dolphins.
That is the exact reason right there. This is the exact reason. It goes to show you everything, bro. It goes to show you everything. And one thing about it, when you had a Democratic Party, I know for a fact that they do not approve. They do not like, and there's multiple videos out. There's multiple videos, multiple posts, because they're just looking at the direction. Even people that still don't like President Trump, they're looking at the Democratic Party like, what are y'all doing? Y'all aim is literally just because of the hatred of President Trump. Y'all have nothing going. Like I said, they don't even have a leader. Everybody's for themselves. I'm telling y'all. Again, playing in your face. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.